Hola, folks. This time, folks of all races, genders, skin tones, ethnicities, language speakers, from all walks of this motherfucking earth. Alright, we got a new video, and this video is about language and the law of attraction. Now, this is something I've been thinking about for a really long time. And by a really long time, I mean on and off over the course of a few weeks. So what's the deal with this? What the hell, why the connection? So, your thoughts are filtered through language. Language is how we categorize and organize the world, essentially. Alright? Like, that's a fucking tree over there. Right? And now I walk past every other thing that's a tree, and I'm like, okay, now this is a tree. And I've categorized that thing into this box, which is a word. So yeah, we essentially perceive the whole world through these boxes. Of course, none of these boxes actually exist. They're just there to help us concretize and understand the world. So, with that in mind, what's the deal? So, with language, we speak to ourselves through language. We speak to others through language. We think in language. And it's very important that you design your language so that... Yeah, I know I farted. Shut up. But it's very important that you design your language to maximize the potential of your manifesting ability, and to move you into a state where manifestation is possible. So, how do we do that? How do we do that shit? Alright, so I'm just gonna start throwing out the concepts, because this is getting pedantic and I just want to get right into it. Alright, so 2 concepts. We have static language. I am this. I am that. You are. This is. Which is typically what you want to avoid when describing yourself and your experience. Oh, I do poorly in this game. Oh, I, stutter when I speak. Or, oh, I do this. Don't, like that. When you do that, you identify with it, and it becomes a static aspect of your reality, meaning that it will remain as such, and your experience will be filtered through that. Here's the best metaphor I've thought of to describe it. So it's like, think of like a planet, right? The planet has gravity, and anything that comes into the planet's gravity is going to be flying around that planet all the time. That's what it is. An I am statement is like a planet, and you are floating in the gravity. I am bad at Mario Kart. You're floating in the gravity. Your experience is trapped in the gravity of this I am bad at Mario Kart planet. So don't say that shit. You're fucking limiting yourself. And you're limiting yourself, and you're fucking contracting your experience. Alright, so next thing. What's the opposite? Well, the thing with static language is that if you're using it against yourself, if you're using it not to your advantage, static language can actually be pretty good. However, you can disprove static language. You can say, I am, like, I am bad at Mario Kart. Well, then how did you do that? Like, oh, that was a nice turn, though. If you're bad at Mario Kart, then how did you do that turn? You can technically disprove static language, because also static language is relative to the perspective of the person who's expressing that language. Anyways, now it's time to talk about, like, fluid language, present moment, present tense. All right, present tense language. I am, or I am doing. I am doing this. I am intending this. Static or fluid language is built upon intention and movement. All life is movement at all times. At all times, all life is movement. If an atom is still, well, atoms can't even be still because then they'd be at absolute zero. And nothing can get to absolute zero. And even if they could, the strings inside of it would still be vibrating. Or however the fuck that works. So, everything is moving. All life is movement. So, when you focus on moving with life, that's you're going with the flow of the river instead of fighting it, instead of shoving yourself into some dog shit worldview, most likely some dog shit worldview that you didn't fucking ask for and you don't want. So, yeah, fluid language. So, I am learning how to use, let's say, a paintbrush. I was gonna spill my my secret sauce, but you'll figure that out when I accidentally spill it. But yeah, let's say a paintbrush. I'm learning how to use a paintbrush. I am learning how to paint. You can't disprove that, really? Like, can you? I can look at this car and be learning how to paint. I can be imagining myself painting this car on a canvas. I could. And studies have shown that imagining something is equally reinforces neurons to actual practice. This is true. There's a book called, I think, Make Your Brain Work by Amy Brand. And was it a Connectome? I've only read 2 neuroscience books, but they talk about a study about people I've heard a study with piano players, and I've heard one with basketball players. And they said the basketball players imagined practicing, and they got just as much gains as the people who actually practiced. So, with that in mind, you can't really disprove that. And you can learn, and learning is a very, very expansive idea. You don't just learn by doing stuff. You can learn by relating something in your experience to something that you are learning. Right? Like this tree. I could relate that tree to programming and be like, oh, I'm learning programming. I could be looking at this tree over here, and I could be thinking about how the leaves fall, and I could be thinking about how to program making those leaves fall. That would be practicing programming. You don't have to be doing it to be practicing it. But anyways, that's the point. The point is doing is not necessarily even tied to your present existence, nor is it even tied to what you can do right now. It is only fucking tied to whether or not you are or you are not, or whether you choose to or whether you choose not to. So yeah, another concept: the direction that your language, the direction your language points is very important. Very, 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 very important. All right. So instead of being like, I don't want to suck, be like, I want to be good at. Right? See the difference there? When you say I do not want to, bad thing, you're avoiding something. There's fear. There's avoidance. Avoidance sucks. Avoidance is survival, and survival is low vibration as fuck. I want to get better, seize opportunities towards it. There's actually a chart I wrote, but the idea is if you're running away, you can run in any direction away from a thing. If you're running towards something, you are focusing, you are finding any route to that thing, specifically to that thing. You're focused. See that? There's a thing I heard on a Sadhguru video about Andrew Carnegie, and he talked about how everyone thought that Andrew Carnegie was cheating, but really, he could just focus on something for like more than 5 minutes. And it's like, boom, that's the power of your focus right there. Andrew Carnegie is like, basically, I can't remember if it was Andrew or if it was Dale, but those motherfuckers ran a steel whatever the fuck. They like own the whole fucking steel industry, the whole thing. They ran the whole thing, and they wrote like massively influential books. Or Andrew Carnegie, I believe, wrote massively influential books. I can't remember if it's what exactly he wrote, but yeah, I think it's like How to Win Friends and Influence People. It's Neo. But yeah, positive language versus over negative language at all fucking costs. Always use positive language. Focus on positive language and reinforcing positive language because it encourages focus. Positive language always encourages focus because you're moving to something, not away, which scatters your movement. When you move away, it scatters your movement because you're running in any direction to get away from the thing. So that's it. And, well, not quite yet. Static language versus fluid language. Static language keeps you anchored to one belief system or thought process. It keeps you anchored to whatever that static language is staticifying. Fluid language moves you in a direction. If I go on Blender and I say I am learning Blender, for whatever reason, one might learn Blender. It's a 3D modeling software. It could be architecture. You never know. I didn't spill it, but I got really close. But anyways, I am learning, or my intention is to learn. It points you in a direction, and it moves you. It moves you forward. And that shit is important. So using fluid, positive language is the motherfucking key. I noticed an extreme shift in my mindset. It was like a dramatic shift. When I was in Blender, and I was like, I am intending to learn Blender. I am learning Blender. That was what was going through my head. That was the way I was talking to myself. And my ability to like pick up on things was definitely enhanced. My mind was a lot more clear. I felt like a lot less weight on my mind, you know, that breezy feeling you get after like meditation or being like super calm. It was like that. Anyway, so that shit was cracked, and I'm definitely seeing the power of that. But yeah, that's it for this video. Maybe there'll be something on questions or something, I don't know, but this video's gone fucking long enough, and I think the basic idea is easy enough to understand. So yeah, peace, bitches. Well, you know what? You are very nice people. Peace, very nice people. See that? I've cleaned it up.